loud and clear. A very good morning, a good Friday before the Chinese New Year. Let's start the webinar now. I just like to introduce myself first. I'm Joshua Tong from SIMTech under Sustainability and Emerging Applications Center. Here with me, we have Dr. George Zhao and also Tom Chua with me organizing this briefing for the day seminar. First of all, before I start, yes, I would like to share that today we actually will be briefing about this data-driven energy management 2-day seminar. So first of all, really a privilege to have all of you here. Thanks for spending your time with me. And in this center, actually over the last 10 years, we have been aggressively working with close industry partners like you all, heading yearly growth and yearly improvement on energy efficiency and also resource efficiency. So of course, we have so much to share with the limited time. Of course, let me emphasize very important of our vision, because working with you, actually, we are more heading towards a very green and sustainable economy via mainly focusing on the manufacturing industry plus all the commercial space in built environment like commercial building especially. So knowing very so-called the ground pain of all the heavy energy usage equipment, we actually specially designed this 2-day course for the leadership in the industry to transfer all our strategy, methodology and approach so that they can actually trigger the catalyst for growth and change. First, knowing what is the thing needed, critical information needed to be executed so that all the improvement, implementation and adoption plan can be executed. And then in order at the end of the day, we are not only just saving our profit margin. Of course, very importantly is our ground worker good environment for them so that there's not so many tedious analysis to do because it will be automated, and also productivity will be driven. And also more important, our industry wish list is to have a zero breakdown and stress-free execution in their workplace. So I would like, before we start the briefing, I also want to kind of give 2 bonus for this morning, because you can see that this course actually is heavily subsidized by SSG, and later my colleague will be sharing a little bit more of the detail on the benefit. And the other 2 more bonus I want to give is, first of all, because we also have kind of invested a special toolkit for the IoT demonstrator, because this is considered as a non-academia course. So during the hands-on, everybody will be given a toolkit, controller, and also some sensors to demonstrate all the IoT deployment. And then they get to bring back this kit home, and then at the same time, they can freely like to do some smart automation either at their home or also their organization. Besides that, the last bonus, actually, we took some good effort to obtain a 16 PDU point for those who are SEM manager or related, or the practitioner. You can actually leverage on this 16 point to keep up with your practice. So without further ado, I would like to pass on to Tom Chua to take the next briefing before Dr. Zhao start the briefing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joshua, for the very detailed introduction. Well, good morning once again to everybody. Hi, my name is Tom Chua. I'm actually a manager for the Knowledge Transfer Office. Today, I'll be facilitating this webinar session. We're actually trying a new format today. We're actually moving into a Q&A session. So we're actually having a dialogue with Dr. George and trying to understand the key impact of this particular program and who this program is really for. So today with me, I mentioned, we have Dr. George. Good morning, Dr. George. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Hi, and also tell us a bit about who should really attend this particular program.
Okay, Tom, before proceed, just now I noticed that one of the participants mentioned that now we are now in the full screen. Can you double check that one?
I'm seeing full screen. Everyone's seeing full screen. Is this full screen now?
No, not full screen.
You can click the top right corner. There's a button. Once you click, it becomes the full screen. It's supposed to be this way.
Yep. Because on my screen, I do see a full screen. Just give me a minute. Is it full screen now?
Yeah, I can see the full screen, but right now I only see your picture. The slide you share from your side.
Yes. Or you want to take over the slide sharing?
It's okay. You control, but right now I only I did not see the presentation.
Yeah, not full screen yet.
Just give me a quick minute.
Sure, no problem.
Now it should be fine. Okay, are we good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
Tom.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm George. Taking care of this D²EEM course, in short code the D²E21. But basically that the course focus on the two areas: the data-driven. Then the data-driven, the purpose of the energy efficiency management. Yeah. So this course basically collaborate together with the assistant professor Q from SIT. And today he's not available because he conducted a class in his SIT. Okay, just a little bit about myself. Okay, I'm right now focused on the three research area. One is that shop floor tracking system. The other area is energy efficiency monitoring and analysis system. And basically that this is related with this course, this part. But the shop floor and energy efficiency management is quite relevant. So later on, if you read the course, you can see the these two working together will be leverage lots of good things. The other part is the real-time dashboard. That part actually is the publish the enterprise data to the front end to let the manager to have the very clear picture of the whole enterprise. But as long as this course is regarded, I will more emphasize on the energy efficiency management. Yeah, okay. And okay, the assistant Professor Q actually more focus on the IoT-based embedded system and data gathering using the different ADS device, software, etc. Then getting the real-time data transfer to the format that is needed for the monitoring purpose. Then after that can be used for the analysis, etc. So he will actually more focus on the so-called the two keys, IoT-based two keys. Use these two keys to get the data through the hands-on. Then also have in the day two also have the so-called assessment part to access the how do you master this part. Yeah, so this is roughly the two main trainers of this course, two days course. I'm taking care of the day one, taking care of the day two. In terms of the who should attend the course, I believe that you played a quite major role in your company or in your own business. Basically that since this course is related with the energy efficiency management, so the energy manager and the facility manager is definitely is a very major role. And also the senior or middle manager or engineer from the different department, they are working also kind of relevant to this area because the energy efficiency management is not only the energy manager or facility manager, but also the need different department manager to work together. Also involve the production manager even. Yeah. So yeah. So this is roughly the who should attend this course. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. George. All right, could you tell me a little bit about what can the participants hope to actually take away from this particular program? You mentioned the participants should be energy managers, facility managers, and so forth.
Yeah. Okay.
What can they actually take away from this particular program?
Okay. Could you go to the next slide? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so this course, this 2-day course, basically is try to equip the participator with this data-driven energy efficiency management concept. Okay, concept and methodologies, and also the analysis technologies. Okay, and also the enabling system, meaning that you only have the methodology without any enabling system still difficult to realize implement something in your company, in your premise. So we not only talk about the methodology knowledge and also the technologies, but also the system. For this case, actually, later on, I will introduce the so-called our E2MA system, energy efficiency monitoring and analysis system, which actually is one of the major steps in this E2 maps methodology. Yeah, so you can see that the right side, this first step actually is our E2 maps methodology. So in the day one, I will introduce this one in detail. And okay, so this course basically also adopted our standard way called so-called learn, practice, and implement. Yeah, but in terms of the implementation part, because of the only 2 days, so we have some only the hands-on part. But if actually we extend this course to many days, actually you really can implement something for your company by so-called install some parameter or monitoring something, then get the data, do analysis, things like that. Yeah, that is our another 48 hours course. If you're interested, maybe you can participate another webinar introducing that course. Yeah. So okay, the other part is the IoT. IoT based especially the hands-on will be conducted in day 2. Focus on the energy data, the collection, monitoring, analysis. Yeah. Then this one enable you actually once you master the key things is enable you to initiate energy efficiency program in your company. Also, if you do your own business, definitely, for example, if you are the boss, you actually can really do something in terms of improving the energy efficiency for your company. Okay, and I believe that you click next. There's another part in this slide.
Yep. So thank you so much for sharing. With so many programs in the market on energy efficiency, maybe you can tell me a little bit about what is unique about this particular program from SIT and SIMTech.
Okay. Could you just click next? Then yeah, okay. So just short one. Yeah, just now earlier I mentioned this course collaborated by the 2 company. I mean, two institute, University, SIMTech, and SIT. Regarding the uniqueness, actually, you guys know that out there actually there are lots of so-called commercial software collecting the data. And after that, maybe store the data, or some system maybe not store the data, just give you the reading, then show you something. But without so much analysis, especially based on certain technologies behind the data, how to analyze it. Our course is basically that is a really holistic, fundamental concept, knowledge, methodology to address this energy efficiency management, this area. And enabling technologies and the practical IoT-based hands-on skill for the NED data collection earlier I mentioned, yeah, for the data-driven analysis. So this part actually in day 2, Dr. Q will actually pass you a small toolkit for the IoT data collection. Then this is also the one of the takeaway after the course. You can take this toolkit with you. Then try small things based on the IoT knowledge and the skill and the software keys to do your own this small scale data collection. Yeah, do some analysis. And okay, so yeah, this is roughly the unique things. I mean that we are not only so-called give you a so-called concept, but also let you to play around with some toolkits to practice what you learn in the course, so that you can master the key things, the core things after the course. Then you can really start something. Yeah, and also later on with the detailed course slide later on, once you register, you can see that our so-called data analysis capability very strong. We have the different chart plot to show you the NED data, then highlight or pinpoint the hotspot of the NED efficiency, things like that, so that from there you actually can derive lots of useful information. Yeah, this is roughly the uniqueness of the course. Okay. Tom?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So this several tools, the following 2 slides basically just brief us the so-called the course outline. This slide actually show us the day 1 outline, which is covered by me. And in the morning, basically, we will so-called introduce the this data-driven NED efficiency management course overall overview. Then cover the, for example, the current status of the NED efficiency management in the local spec or even in the global perspective. And also the what is the market driver for the NED management. Also the so-called legalization and the EE policy in Singapore. Government actually promote lots of funding to support SME, MNC to do the NED efficiency management. Yeah, so this slide, several slides will cover that part, provide you lots of information and link for you to go further to find out the funding information. Also, we talk about the top sectors of energy consumption and also the greenhouse gas emission related topic. This one actually give you the so-called full picture that which area you actually can get more benefit by doing the energy efficiency management. Yeah. Okay, then we also talk about the challenges or opportunities because looks like easy, but actually it's not that easy for you to address the energy efficiency because it involves different perspective things. Also, there are some technologies is relevant. So how can you actually leverage the technology together to address the energy efficiency in overall? And where is the opportunity to actually get a benefit by doing this energy efficiency? So we talk about that one also. Also the overall overview of the industry issue, and also the also high level how we actually use the E2 maps methodology. E2 map basically the energy efficiency monitoring analysis and program for solution, this methodology. Also E2 maps toolkits briefly in the first session. Yeah. Then the second part is that we will talk about a little bit on the productivity improvement because earlier I mentioned that I'm also specialized in the shop floor tracking system. So by so-called leverage the two area or the expertise in this two area, you can do lots of meaningful things. Yeah, because you cannot just simply monitor the energy without talking about the production side, right? So these two parts actually is relevant. That is reason actually it's also quite different from the other costs that I don't think that they will talk about the productivity improvement together with the energy efficiency management cost. So after introduce the productivity improvement perspective, then in the last part in the morning, we will talk about how to improve the energy efficiency and the productivity from the different level. Here actually we prepare for the 3 level, facility levels and the process levels and the system levels. Yeah, the facility level, maybe lots of people here actually is the facility manager or the building manager taking care of the chiller system. Yeah, so that part actually is useful. Process level, because the SIMTech actually R&D research and development focus on lots of people focus on the process improvement. So we have lots of expertise to talk about the improve the energy efficiency from the process level. Yeah, the system level basically that the overall together integrate everything together from the system level. How can you improve the energy efficiency? Yeah, this is roughly the morning session. Then the afternoon, we will talk about this E2 math methodology, and also the this E2 math toolkits. So we introduce methodology and then with the toolkits to support to implement this methodology, so that you have the holistic kind of perspective things to get then to initiate your energy efficiency management program in your company. So in this session, basically that I will introduce this methodology and also the system overall in terms of the so-called E2 math approach, architecture, and also the what is the capability or functionality and the feature of this E2 math toolkits. Yeah, and also this software actually can have the energy report generation functionality. So I will illustrate how to understand this energy report. Yeah, also. Then after that, it's more detail. This session will talk about the energy. Sorry, the E2 math server setup. Meaning that if you want to set up the software system, may not be E2 math, but if you develop your own software, what is the so-called general steps you should follow to set up the software in terms of, for example, nowadays is more called a web-based software instead of client server. So we will go through roughly the step to do that. Yeah, and also talk about the before you embark your energy efficiency management program. What you need to so-called to do for the pre-assessment. So we will talk about the approach of this pre-assessment for your environment. Yeah, then talk about the system setup and also including database server installation, something like that. Yeah. Okay, then we have a very short, so-called about 30 minutes or 45 minutes so-called assessment by answer a couple of questions in day 1. Then we end the day 1 sessions. Okay. Okay, day 2 is actually also partitioned into the morning and the afternoon. Then Prof. Q will start with the overall of the IoT architecture and he will mention several key components of the IoT, which actually is a very basic one. Then also he will introduce the SIT learning factory with a so-called virtual tool. Then discuss about this environment. It's covered the hardware and the software analytical tools. Yeah. And in the afternoon, he will talk about the embedded system as a main controller. This one, he will take a really long time, 2 hours, to focus on the microcontroller, sensor, controller, sensor, sensing, and control, which actually is the major components of the energy monitoring and control. Yeah. Then how can you so-called hook up system through the network to implement the connectivity from your software to the hardware components device, and also build the so-called smart lighting control solution through the hands-on. Okay, then he will also talk about the IoT cloud platform as a bridge for the data collection, and also the transfer the data from the edge device to the central server, backend server, yeah, through the mobile application development, yeah. And okay, so another part of the hands-on actually is to extend the smart lighting to the cloud-based solution. So through the hands-on, actually you can immediately see the effect that once you collect some IoT data, then you can see the so-called the data actually is becoming live. You can see the some parameters movement through the chart through the website. Yeah. Then in day 2, we also have a short session, have this assessment. Basically, you answer some questions. He will so-called post it during the session. Okay. This is a day 2. Okay, this slide basically shows us the facilities of the factory, learning factory with the IoT data collection device as SIT at the left side. Then the right side actually is SIMTech model factory. Yeah, so in the model factory, basically we so-called promote the industry 4.0. These are latest technologies with a different perspective of the application running in this model factory. Energy efficiency management is one of the application, and also part of the integrated model factory system. So if you got a chance to visit this model factory, we are really happy to introduce more detail to you. Yeah, okay. Next slide, please. Okay, this slide basically is the funding detail. Yeah, so from the different participants, the cost fee might be a little bit different. So basically that for the international participant, this is the full cost fee for 2 days. Then for the Singapore citizens, with a certain condition, 39 years old or 39 years old and younger, and also the PR or the long-term visit pass holder, you only need to pay $513. Yeah. So this long-term visit pass, this one actually is new for this year. Before, I don't remember we have this category. Then for Singaporean, actually 40 years or older, you only pay $193 actually for 2 days, which is really, I think, is a value. Is worth of the contents of the cost. Yeah, because through the cost, you master the knowledge, methodology, and also the you know how to set up the tools for any efficiency monitoring system. But also you take away 2 keys for you to do the basic IoT data collection. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Then the last category actually is the same value. Okay, for the enhanced training support for the SME. those participate. Yeah. So this is roughly the funding information. For this part, Joshua or Tom, do you want to add on anything? Or anybody participate got any question to ask?
Yep. So if you have any questions to ask, you can actually put in Q&A. We can address it towards the end of the session. So like Dr. George mentioned earlier, this is a SSG funded program. So if you're a Singapore citizen, you get special funding, especially if you're 40 years and above, or you're from an SME. I also want to highlight at the end of this particular program, you'll be given a toolkit, like Mr. Chua mentioned earlier at the beginning, that this toolkit you can bring home with you to your company to actually deploy to do the energy management analysis. Okay, so if you have any questions about the funding, you feel free to drop me any questions. I'll be happy to address it for you.
Okay, next slide. Yeah, I believe I got a couple of slides. Okay, this is the cost information. The 2 days actually is February 16 is day 1, Wednesday in the SIMTech, and day 2 is the 21st of the February, Monday in the SIT, area. Yeah. So okay, right now government allowed the so-called the course conducted physically. So like the last batch, we also have the similar arrangement. The course time basically from the 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah. Okay, this is so far the course information, but this course may be conducted virtually online or postponed, depending on any government new SMM for the COVID-19 situation. Yeah, because we have to, I mean, let you to prepare this one in case the government change this safety rule. Yeah. This is an online registration website. You can do the registration. Okay. By the way, for the registration, actually, we have the cap number of the registration for this year because of the COVID-19. We have a totally 20 seat for this year. So far, we already have some registration. So I hope that you once you think this course is really useful for you, then you can do the early registration to reserve the seat. Yeah. But in case that it's the existing 20, then don't worry. We're actually planning to have another batch in the middle of this year, and also the third batch in the end of this year. So we have the coming batch after this batch also. Okay, Tom, next slide, I believe one more slide. Okay, this actually is the testimony from the past participator of this course, which actually is come from the director of the one of the big hotel in local Carlton Hotel. He actually participated this course by master the so-called the knowledge methodology and also the toolkits and collect the data for their hotel energy efficiency. For this case, actually, it's a chiller system. Collect the data, then do some analysis. Then after, based on the analysis, he take the action. Then this action actually is to improve the energy efficiency. Yeah, in a very simple way. Actually, it's quite straightforward. Then immediately he can actually save some cost for the energy consumption part. Yeah, although it's not big figure, but after many years, I actually is also can save a lot for the hotel, right? Yeah, and here I got a short video. I hope we can see the. Oh, okay. Tom, I believe that maybe you. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you click the top picture there's a link to click this one also, okay. It's actually a how come to this page? What about you click the picture and then to see whether it can link to the video.
Give me a minute. I'm linking to the video now. Okay, so this is the video to share, right, Dr. Judge?
Yeah, correct.
Pick up new methods in assessing my company, Carlton Hotel Singapore, needs in managing energy usage and determining the correct load profile for the upcoming chillers replacement work. Through this course, I learned how to perform more accurate data collection and analysis for Carlton's existing chillers operation, load profile, and each chiller's efficiency. I also learned how to make use of SIMTech's E2 mask and SimProp software to calculate the refrigerant tonnage required to cool the hotel in an efficient manner. With this skill, I can forecast cooling loads based on past hotel occupancies and activities to optimize the chiller's operation, reducing energy wastage and lowering the maintenance costs. I've started to optimize the chiller's operation by switching off some chillers in the night, and the average savings per day is about 5%, which is equivalent to approximately $36,000 per annum based on a tariff of 15 cents per kilowatt hour.
Yeah, okay. So
yes,
this,
thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you, Dr. Chao. Yes,
yeah, okay.
For the great presentation. I think we definitely have a bit of time for some question if needed. And also, if let's say we do not have sufficient time to answer your question, feel free to drop me or Dr. Chao any email about your concern, about your request. Just for information that because we are receiving a very positive response, so the space restriction are also limited. So do quickly sign up today if you want to create this growth because as we are planning for energy saving for 2022. So this is a very important milestone for all of us to work together. In the event, let's say if we have overwhelming registration, we will definitely do our best to so-called make one more batch, especially for the registration. Yes, feel free to drop us any question on the chat. Yes.
Yep. Joshua, I believe the one participant, Leng Wong, wants to speak. So let me allow.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Leng Wong, you can go ahead, please.
Hi, Leng Wong. You can unmute.
While Leng Wong is trying to unmute, if there are any questions from the participants, feel free to ask in the Q&A box or in the chat box. You can pick up from there. Whether you have questions about the measurement kits, or about energy efficiency of your chiller systems, or any concerns you may have, or interest, or any questions about the model factories that SIMTech may have, we'd be happy to talk about that.
I noticed Lin Wang got raise hand to ask question, right? Tom, you can unmute him or her.
Yeah, we are trying to do that, so but Lin Wang is not responding so far.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think while we're waiting for Lin Wang to respond, Dr. Judge or Joshua, anything else to add to the program they want to talk about?
Okay, I would say that maybe I also can share one more example that we actually, over the last 10 years when we focus a lot on manufacturing plant shop floor. So we, one of the achievement that I think I would say that we have is with a medical company. generally we are linking up a single platform data into a single visualization desktop, like a nerve center, where all the machine MES data and also the facility equipment are correlated together for analysis. So with this so-called ability for visualization, actually they allow us to actually address supply and demand. So one example can be like the achievement that they have is like a compressed air. So the compressed air in the past, they actually oversupply and they set at a very high setting in terms of the pressure bar. And because of the understanding the supply and demand well in the production floor, they basically able to set at an efficient level. And that actually created at least about 10 to 30% of saving without having to invest in any technology just to save energy. Yes. And now, of course, also another key point, you will say that because of all this visualization ability and digitization, they enable the whole shop floor to basically invest in very cost-effective technology to actually tackle all the pain point for energy saving. Yes, I believe that many buildings will be headed towards the city of tomorrow, whereby smart building are emerging. So cost is a great concern to many landlord and owner and stakeholder. So this is very important because they wanted to, first thing is they want an open source. They do not want to be also restricted to one proprietary source, whereby they were restricted to talk to cross-talk to different department and different proprietary of equipment. So this is one of the benefit that we obtain from the ground.
Thank you so much, Joshua. While we're waiting for if anyone has more questions to ask, I want to release a poll to find out if the participants, the webinar today, are interested in this particular program. So you can help me by responding to the poll. If you're interested in the program or you want more information, feel free to respond accordingly. Okay, we have some questions from the Q&A. Dr. George, is for you. We question asking about how applicable is energy efficiency skills learned and a toolkit to different work sites. So it's asking about, is it more relevant for manufacturing workplaces, or is it applicable for industrial processes, food manufacturing? In other words, is a toolkit given or the knowledge shared, will it be across all industries, or is it specific to certain industry?
Yeah, this actually is a very good question. It's not limited to the manufacturing work site. It's also applied to the so-called building with the so-called chiller system, for example. How can you actually improve the chiller efficiency? Also apply to the different industry sector. As long as you got some so-called energy consumption a device or equipment that got some hotspot, you want to capture it through the applied software, then is applicable. So if you reduce the cost, you can see through our E2MAS architecture that our data gathering actually for the energy data not only to the machine in the manufacturing environment, but also the chiller system, different components in the chiller system, and also the different level of the energy efficiency, energy data that we get together to do the analysis together. Earlier, I mentioned that SIMTech actually focus on the manufacturing, but doesn't mean that the energy efficiency only for the manufacturing, so-called the website, sorry, the workplace. Yeah. So just earlier, I mentioned that I also specialize in the shop floor level control tracking system. So just now earlier I highlight that by leveraging the capability in the shop floor tracking system, also the energy efficiency management knowledge and skill and the system, you actually can do more that outside software actually cannot do. This is actually what I try to highlight, but doesn't mean that I only apply to the manufacturing work site. Yeah, hope I answer your question.
Great. Dr. George, maybe for Joshua, so there's another question asked. During the course, right, during the training, will there be any sharing on the types of funding that are applicable for, let's say, the energy saving projects that the energy managers or facility managers are engaged in? So if they want to take on certain projects, will there be just a sharing on the type of funding that's available from the government?
All right, I can take this question. Yes, actually, it's a very good question. In fact, we have a breakthrough. Actually, the last 1 year, we have a big MNC actually just gotten very big funding from NEA. If you're saying that there are a lot of energy grant from NEA side, generally our key focus, because this is only a 2-day, time are very limited. We actually wanted to transfer the skill set for mindset shift. At the same time, awareness of what are the tools that you can deploy, who are the consultants that can help you, and also the supply chain in the market that help you to cost effectively implement all this to address the pain point. As well as for any grant related, you can drop me an email, because this course is mainly focused on capability upgrading. So we will not be spending a lot of time on the grant detail, but I can kind of provide you the link where to go.
Okay,
EMIS is one of them.
Yeah, okay. To have the short answer to this one, yes, definitely we have a so-called share of this type of the funding. Actually, I have a couple of slides just to focus on the different funding, different focus of this funding, then also provide the link. So by take away the slide, actually you can find out all the different type of funding from this cost sharing. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. George and Joshua. Okay, is there any more questions for Dr. George? Yeah. Okay. As usual, if you're interested and you want to know more information, you can always actually contact Dr. George or Joshua via email. You can actually look at the link that is pasted on the chat box. You can find the program there, and from there you can actually get a direct connection to Dr. George.
Oh, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, one more question here.
Yeah, one more question just came up. Someone, Cheng Bok is actually asking, are the apps provided open source apps, the software given?
Are the apps provided as open?
Yeah, maybe the softwares and there was this technology being shared. Would it be open source?
Okay, this actually is the SIMTech A* IP. We do not share the source code as open source. Meaning that if you realize that there is a value for your company to deploy this one, we actually can discuss on the project base, meaning that deploy this software to your site based on the number of the monitoring points, things like that. Yeah. And then the company just pay a one-time license to use this software. That's all. Yeah. But we do not share the so-called source code as open source, because this is the A* IP rule. Yeah, we all have to obey it.
Just to add on about the open source, because for our software is specially developed for sustainability. For example, carbon footprint, and also reporting, swift reporting to NEA. So especially the big companies, they are required to do a yearly reporting. So a lot of our design and algorithm that embedded in the software are actually designed for NEA to do a swift reporting, easy click and all this. So it's a sustainable calculator inside. So if you are referring to other apps, open source definitely is communicable to all the available open source apps. Yeah. Thank you for that. So Tom, are we good for time?
Yep, we are good. Okay, so there's no more further question. I think we can call this webinar to an end. But before we go, maybe I can, if you don't mind, Joshua, I'll just share another program from SIMTech, right? So there's another program coming up known as the Green Compass. So this Green Compass program is actually talking about helping organizations, SMEs, companies, finding out where you are on your sustainability journey. So for example, your company, you realize that you want to, you may be in it, and you want to actually benchmark yourself against the standards. We actually have a new program that's talking about the green, talking about sustainability and the benchmarking. It's known as the Green Compass. So what I can do is I can share the link here. So if you're interested in this program, feel free to reach out to me. And then because I believe this particular program actually complements the energy management program that you're looking at today, right? So with that, if everyone if there's no more further questions, I'd like to close this webinar to an end. Thank you so much for Dr. George and Joshua for taking the time today to answer questions from the ground. And wish you a very good Friday, right? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all the guests.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you,
thank you all for your time.
Also, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.